Okay, so today's video, I was thinking more of like metaphysical energy, maybe how to harness it a little bit, some of the things we can do to practice it, understand it, the mind-body connection, maybe even some healing stuff, uh, energetic environment, yeah, could do that too. Personal experience. Yeah, okay. So I guess, spiritual energy, we all have a connection to it. It's just here, it's in the universe, it's everywhere. It's the stuff that connects everything that goes together. It's the stuff that holds the atoms together. It's the stuff that beats your heart, helps your blood flow. So there's something very spiritual, divine. Some people call it chi, some people call it prana, metaphysical energy, spiritual energy. So again, there's movements we can do like Tai Chi, yoga, pranic healing. There's meditations kind of I feel like help too. Qigong's another thing, just that energy flow of like moving. And it helps harness it, and then we put it into our body and as our energy. Like there's this qigong practice where you go like this and you kind of like harness it up and you spin it and then you gather it and then you put it in. So it's almost like taking the energy from everywhere around you and putting it into your body. And I feel like that's what some of these meditations do, is they help awaken it, because it lays dormant inside of us. We all have this energy inside of us. It's just that most of us don't know how to tap into it and awaken it, because it's always there. It's just that most of the stuff we do doesn't do anything about it. There's stuff called God, what were they called? There's like lines that go around your energy, meridians. They're like energy veins or energy arteries, like whereas it kind of goes around. I was gonna do a video about this, and I probably still will. There's an meridian massage where you like activate the energy here, and then you go it around, you come up, and you do it on your. It's like a whole body thing. So there's something you can do to do that. It kind of awakens it inside you. I got it somewhere around here. It's in one of these folders somewhere. But yeah, once I find that, I'll do a thing one day about showing how to do that too. So again, it's just that it's like we have it laying dormant inside of us, but there are ways, and that's what yoga and Tai Chi and Qigong and all that stuff do, is that we move our body in ways that awaken that energy that's inside of us. That's why when you're done doing yoga, even though you're stretching and you feel better about it and you're doing something, but it's also because you're moving in a way that unlocks that energy and makes it come to the surface and like makes it run through your body. It's like it's sitting here not doing anything, just sitting here waiting for you to do something, and then when you finally do, then you start to feel better. And the crazy part is I remember I had a friend one time, and he did the meridian massage, and he didn't feel good after it, but I think that was because sometimes when it's a flushing period too. Like if you got dirty, stuck energy, and then you start moving everything, then it might make you feel a little bit off for a little bit. And at the time, I didn't realize that's what was happening. I just kind of felt bad for him, because the same thing didn't happen to me, but it did to him. But then when I took meditation and found all this stuff out, that sometimes you're releasing that energy, and when you start to move that good energy, it sometimes like brings all that bad energy up to the surface too, and then you got to kind of release it and let go of it. So because that's kind of like what pranic healing does. And Reiki is more like just you're laying your hands on and channeling that energy into someone else's body, and they use symbols to like kind of start that process and like manifest that energy. So there's another way to unlock it too, is by symbols. But then there's also in pranic healing, they also teach you to use your hands, and then visualize it coming through your hands and into the other person. And sometimes they even have you visualize it coming through that hand into your body, then out this hand into the other person. So there are ways to do it, but Reiki is more like laying on hands and channeling that energy, where pranic healing is a little more advanced, where you're kind of like getting some of the dirty energy out. Now, I'm not telling you how to do all the whole stuff, because there's more to it than that, because there's also ways you have to disintegrate the energy with like salt water and stuff like that, so it's a lot more deeper process. But I'm just giving some examples of it. If it's something that you feel interested in, look into it. Pranic healing, it's a good practice to do, but it's way more advanced than what I'm just saying. I'm only giving you little things, so don't think, just by what I said it's gonna, help a whole lot. I'm just showing you the things that it can do. So, and then too, the mind-body connection. We're all connected. The mind and body are one. They all focus on each other. The mind affects the body affects the mind. If you can think yourself into becoming sick, and you can also think yourself into becoming healed. Placebo effect, nocebo effect is the opposite. So again, the mind's a very powerful thing. So I remember years ago they used to say they were separate. Yeah, okay, they're not. And again too, like if you feel sick, well, and you don't feel good, your body don't feel good, it takes a toll on you mentally. And if your mind doesn't feel good, you can make your body sick. So I mean, there's a big thing, connection, energy, and emotions, like what I talked about before with meditation, helps dig up some of that negative energy, those negative emotions that are inside of us, and it helps release it. So again, it's a process, but there's a lot of stuff that can be done when you start to realize that there's more to life than just the physical of what we can see. There's more than what the Western civilization has taught us. The East has something going on there too. So how can you be a whole being if you don't have the total picture, both sides of the story? In the West, you only get the West, and the East, you get the East. Meet in the middle somewhere. We do need. I do believe in Western medicine, but I also believe in Eastern medicine too. I believe there could be a balance between the two, and I feel like that's where I'm at. Like I feel like we need to bring balance to everything, because we're definitely not in balance all the time, and we definitely live in a society sometimes where it makes it very hard to get back to balance. So, and energy is definitely like. What is the word I'm looking for? It's definitely part of the picture that we need to start looking at more, because in pranic healing they teach you that basically every disease manifests as energy first and then becomes physical, and I kind of believe that, and I feel like that's why we don't heal all the time, and that's why medicine can only go so far, because it takes away the symptoms, and it helps mask the symptoms. It helps you feel okay. But at the end of the day, we're not getting to the root of the problem. We ain't getting to what's causing all these symptoms. Instead, we just, take medicine to help relieve the symptoms, when there's something deeper on inside that's going on that's more than just physical. It's metaphysical, and then they try to deny its existence. And it's funny because they can't prove it all the time. But you know what? They also can't prove that it's not real. So again, think of that too. Next time somebody says something like that, be like, well, I can't prove it. Well, guess what? You can't not prove it either. So there's definitely something. I can feel it. I definitely something's going on behind there. And the same thing too, like acupuncture, crystal healing, clearing blockages, clearing energy. And then when you start doing stuff like that, then you start to feel better. I haven't really done pranic healing in a long time, but when I used to do it and used to go all the time, I felt great after you can't even explain it. You go there and have somebody do a healing on you, you feel amazing. You feel different. I know every time I go there, and I used to get, healing done on me, I'd walk out of there just feeling different. Can't explain it. Maybe can't see it, maybe can't prove it, but I'll tell you what, I felt it. I felt different. Felt lighter, just felt like. And then they show you in the thing that you're cleaning out the dirty energy, and then you're replacing it with new good energy. So, I don't know. Everybody's different, and even the mind can trick you too, because if you go in there with a negative attitude and you don't believe in it, well then sometimes it doesn't work because you don't believe it. And then you get to say, yeah, I told you it didn't work. Well, you didn't want it to work in the first place. There's a lot of things going on with this thing in intention. If you can think yourself to health and you can think yourself to sickness, there's something going on. And I remember this. Deepak Chopra wrote this in one of his books called Quantum Healing, and I'm going to reference it. And he had a patient that was allergic to orange juice, and he was multiple personalities. And one personality was allergic to orange juice, and the other one wasn't. So if they drank orange juice, and when they were in the one personality, they'd break out in hives. But like right after, if they switched personalities, the hives would go away. So tell me that ain't crazy. So that tells you right here that this is a lot more powerful than we've been told. That you can create yourself. It's just that we haven't been told it. And we know it from the sugar pill thing, the placebo effect, thinking you're taking a drug that's going to help you do it. God, there's been research done where people have had knee surgeries, thought they had knee surgeries and got better, and they did a placebo where they just cut them open, but they didn't do anything, and then they sewed them back up, and they thought they got the surgery to fix their ACL, and then they went back about their business, and then it healed without even any surgery, and some of them were faster than the people that got the surgery. So it tells you, man, there's something going on. It's just that we get so conditioned to believe that it's not possible that our bodies create it. Our bodies create whatever we believe is possible. I know it sounds kind of woo woo and like I don't know, but I tell you what, it over the years I've slowly but surely changed my beliefs about all this, and I see different results than I used to in the past. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. We're all human beings. Why we think different people are special than others? Yeah, some people have gifts, don't get me wrong, but I'll tell you what, if one human being can heal themselves with their minds, we all can do it, but we just have to believe it. But then when you have that belief stacked with a bunch of pile of garbage for your whole lives on doubts and negativity, then it covers up that energy, that soul, that spirit that's in the inside. And all that energy that we could be using to heal ourselves is laying dormant inside us, covered in a bunch of shit. And we need to get it off, like shovel it off ourselves and realize, like I said the other day, you must unlearn what you have learned. Yoda, Star Wars, he's not lying. Sometimes I read a book and this brings me to a long time ago. I read the book called Urban Shaman. And it said that shamans are taught from the time they're young to relinquish the doubt. That's why they can just heal people. And because they have no doubt. It's just that we grew up in a system where all there is doubt and negativity. Could you imagine being born and not knowing? I mean, I see some of these people overseas in these villages. I took Religions of East Asia, and there was this dude, like our teacher had went to this village. He wasn't in this video, but he found a video of a village he went to. So he's like, I was in this village, and he was showing us the places. And then there was this dude sitting between two huts. And what they would do is they would take like 2 weeks. Like everybody would get 2 weeks. Where this guy would get 2 weeks and then everybody else would do the chores. Then the next guy would get 2 weeks. Everybody else would do the chores. They live in a village. So they don't have no 9-to-5 jobs. So, and then they would point over and like in between this hut, there's like a hut here and a hut here. And there's just enough in between to where this guy's meditating. And he's sitting there. And he goes, see that guy over there? He's like, his body's there, but he's not. He hasn't moved in 2 weeks. Well, we're told we can't go without water and food and all that for that long. Well, that man hadn't moved in 2 weeks because the meditation slowed his body down so much that he like astro traveled or went somewhere else. And you could tell by looking at the guy, it was the truth. He was there, but his body was there, but he definitely was not. His soul and spirit was somewhere else. But we're taught we can't do that? Makes me wonder if we were told correctly. But again, I mean, obviously they're masters. They've been meditating for way longer than I have. God, I wish I could do that. There's people that have meditated for days straight. With, Dan Millman, I think, said that he meditated for 21 days straight. I'm sure Buddha did it. Jesus did it. I'm sure there's plenty of other people that did it. I seen a video on YouTube of a monk sitting there meditating, and it was only there for a few minutes because they took it down once they realized what was going on. Because, like, I mean, their customs are you're not supposed to do that. So you're not supposed to tape these meditators, which I understand, but it also was a good thing to see. You can tell they're definitely in a different realm. They're definitely different. So there's something more going on than in this universe than what we're taught, and we're definitely capable of doing a little bit more than we've been told. But we have to want to do it first, and we have to believe we can do it too. Because if we don't have any of those, we ain't gonna even try to practice the way that or do these things. I know when I was younger, I wouldn't have believed it, but after the years of meditating and doing some of the things and having a couple, I need to get back to it, but I did some astral travel a couple times, but it was so strange that it scared me. So like I was trying to do it, and it didn't work, and then one day it worked, and then it worked, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I got nervous and then didn't do it again, but at the time I didn't really realize what was going on. It was years later and I was like, oh my God, somebody else was talking about it and they were telling me their experience, and I was like, man, that was kind of like what was happening to me. So I was actually doing it right. I just didn't know. I got nervous. But anyway, my thing over here decided it wanted to go on the crapper and decided to knock me out here again. Good job. And but yeah, so there's definitely something more to the universe, metaphysically speaking, that we can definitely tap into. So I guess that's the message for today, is that we can tap into that spiritual energy that's inside of us by doing some things and creating some things that I hate it when it does this. It, like, for some reason out of nowhere, it just kicks me out, and it's like, come on. I had a good flow going too and stuff, so bear with me for a second. Alright, yeah. And then like all of the other stuff too, like feng shui and aromatherapy and sound healing and all that stuff, like the vibrations from the bowls, the way that we picture or move stuff in our house, the smells and stuff. I did a emotional release and aromatherapy class, and that was some crazy stuff. They put, like, I volunteered and they put all these oils on me, and the rest of the day I was crying for no reason. It was kind of crazy. I just kind of drove around by myself. It was weird, but I felt better after it was done. But sometimes it's that energy that's inside of us that we hold on to all the time, and sometimes it just creates disease. It creates discomfort. And when we're just working on the physical body instead of like doing the whole body and getting the energy body taken care of too, we got to do both. To be a whole person, to be healed, is do both. I mean, yes, emergency medicine's good. You need stuff sometimes to help save everybody's lives and get everybody where they need to be and all that stuff. But at the same time, why not do both? I feel like we should just do both. So that's so I guess like and subscribe. You got any questions or anything, just put them down there. That's my message for today, is search this stuff, look into it. I just scratched the surface of this stuff to kind of give you an overview of what's possible as human beings when we like use that energy that's inside of us to create whatever it is. And the more that you do it, and the more that you practice it, and the more that you harness it, and then the more that you release the negative stuff, the more powerful you get. It keeps going. And like some of those healing stuffs, when you start doing healings, man, the energy just keeps flowing in you. So, but anyway, I'm sure I'll do more stuff on it later. But as for today, whatever it is, just have an open mind with this stuff. Just look at it, see what you can do, and see how you feel, and believe. Because if you don't believe, sometimes it won't work. So that thing's right. Believe you can. Believe you can. Either way, you're right. There's whoever said that. Einstein, maybe Ford. I don't remember off the top of my head which one said it, but it's there's more than just the one version. But it's right. You first got to believe. You have to believe before you can see something. And I'll leave you with the one quote. Is I remember Wayne Dyer used to always say, instead of "you'll believe it when," or instead of saying "I'll see it when I believe it," he used to always say, "You'll see it when you believe it." And I believe that's the truth. Is you have to believe first. So, all right. Have a good day.